feel to be out there?
Great to be out on the field. You know, just a new group of guys to coach, and excited to get the weekend started.
What's your method to the rookie?
There's a lot of learning to do, and so everything you're doing this weekend, you're doing something for the first time, and so just learn as much as you can, work as hard as you can, and we're just going to try and make this a big-time teaching camp for them, so that when they get started with the veterans on Monday, they feel like, hey, I'm one of us.
Brandon, is there any update on progress on Justin Herbert's contract extension?
No updates, Lindsay.
And obviously you guys are New York opponents, but the schedule came out last night. What's your reaction to your guys' schedule?
Every NFL schedule that I've played so far is really, really tough, so this one will be no exception.
You guys have a really early bye. How do you view that?
We had an early bye when I was in Chicago, 2018. So that season we had the bye after the fourth game. So that's obviously my experience to draw from. And just know that the season's tough no matter when your bye is. And so we'll be ready to play the schedule as it comes.
And then what do you think it says about the expectations of this team that the NFL has you guys in 6 primetime games?
Well, I think we've played really well in primetime since I've been the coach. I think our team has excelled in that time slot, and I think, you know, the NFL is going to tell you what they think of your team by how many you get. And so we've got a good football team, and we're going to be excited to play whenever we play. But obviously when you're in front of the whole world, it's extra special.
Quentin just mentioned to us that Mike and Keenan and Josh came by his hotel after he got drafted just to check in and give him a little crash course in what it is to be an NFL player. You mentioned after you got drafted that he's getting into a really good situation, but just that specific moment, what do you think that says about sort of what he's getting himself into?
Yeah, Daniel, I think the brotherhood that we have on our football team and the culture that we have, and, you know, our best players are responsible for the culture, and I can't think of, you know, any superstar receivers in the NFL that I'd rather have than Mike Williams and Keenan Allen leading the way. And Josh is such a pro going into his third season. And for them to do that, I'm not surprised, but that's what you need from your leaders on your football team, because that's going to accelerate the development of your young guys. And I'm glad that that's happening. And Q's going to be one of them in that room for sure.
When it comes to what you want to see this weekend, or you're learning from players, how much of it is retaining information, work habits, a little bit of both?
Yeah, you just want to see, I think, how they thrive in the correct classroom. And there's a lot of components to the weekend where they have to learn so much for the first time besides just football. There's football in the classroom, there's football on the field, special teams, offense, defense, but then it's the weight room, the equipment room, the locker room. They just have to do so much for the first time. So just seeing how they absorb all of that and seeing what type of professionalism they have, I think that's something that we're all looking for, is that level of professionalism, that level of focus that you have to have. And, you know, and then you want that rookie class to take shape, that brotherhood with the guys that you come in with. And so there are a lot of things to do this weekend for sure.
Brandon, is there any update on Austin Eckler's situation?
No updates on Austin, but same comments as before. You know, just looking forward to this springtime, and again, we feel, you know, I know Tom, you know, had some media last week. We just, you know, we love this guy.
Justin's shoulder, I know you guys said that as you got closer to OTAs, you have a better idea if he'd be throwing. Do you know if Justin's going to do any throwing during OTAs with the shoulder?
He's progressing through a throwing progression right now, but how much he does when we actually practice, that's to be determined.
With your draft picks, now that they're here and you're seeing them in some football type stuff, did anything surprise you, or was there anything about any of those guys that you didn't, maybe you've just learned here the last 24 hours or so?
No, I don't think so. I think we did a lot of work on our draft picks, and then there are a lot of work on these undrafted guys too. And this is a good group of guys, I think, as advertised. And just, you know, there's so much to learn about these guys as the spring goes on, and we're not going to know fully about these guys till we start putting pads on. So, but it's a good group of young guys, and they're exciting to work with. And you know, like I said, a lot of work to do this spring.
Where are you guys at in the process of hiring a new head athletic trainer?
In the process, there's going to be some changes in that space and some additions, and we're excited about it. But going through a process right now, and we'll let you know as those hires become official.
So no hire?
No hires yet.
Brandon, there was a viral video of Quentin at the draft telling his mom that she could put out 2 weeks. Did you see that?
I was made aware of that. I didn't see it, but I was made aware of that, yeah.
Then I guess just in general terms, what do you know already, through the research and everything, about Quentin's character?
I think that's one of the things that we were really excited about, Lindsay, is we could see what type of player he was, but I think what he meant to TCU. We were able to interview a lot of TCU players throughout the draft process. They had so many good players on that team, and then their coaching staff. Just the character, I think, really separated him from a lot of the rest because he was a captain there. I think his family background and how he was raised and what he meant to TCU just made him a really attractive prospect because on the field he's capable of so much, but when you can get a special person, special leader like him, that makes it even a stronger pick. So just excited to get to work with him and be with him full time because there's a lot of work for him to do as a receiver in the league. There's so much to learn, there's so many things that he needs to improve upon, but he's the right guy to be coaching for sure.
How much of that familiarity level could you see on the field between Max and the two receivers?
Yeah, they're just off to a bigger, head start. But I think it's probably like them being freshmen at TCU. Everything's brand new again. So you may know each other, but everything you're learning is brand new. So you almost feel like a freshman again. So, but what we like is that they come from a really successful program, and they were three of the best players at their positions in the country. So, we like the makeup of all three of those guys on top of their talent, and excited to join up with them.
And just at this point, in terms of roster building, are you guys still expecting to look into the free agency market to fill out spots, or at this point, I think you have 2 spots available on the roster? Is it pretty much set in stone at this point?
No, Daniel, I think there's a lot of time between now and the first game, so I would just, there's a window now, there'll be a window during training camp, and so we'll look to both of those windows before the season starts to take advantage of our team, because there's just so much that's going to happen. But we're excited to coach this group, and if we make some moves, you'll be the first to know.
You sure about that?
Yes.